been over a decade since we've had this week's band here on the podcast. This week's band, it's the Surf Zombies. This is the song Brain Rock from their album Monster A Go-Go. They last appeared here on the podcast back in January of 2015. I think it's awesome that they're still making music and that they gave us permission to play their music here on the podcast devoted to the classic and sometimes not so classic genre cinema of yesteryear. This is Bride of Monster Kid Radio. My name is Derek M. Cook. I'm your writer, host, and producer and guide to what we do here on the podcast. And what are we doing this week? We are talking about a film that just came out, a new movie, but it's a Frankenstein film, and Frankenstein is always going to have a home here on my podcast. It's Frankenstein 2025, directed by Guillermo del Toro, and I'm excited to get into the conversation that I had with my lovely wife Beth and my, I'm not going to ruin the joke, my friend Robert Kelley here this week on the show. Robert's a busy man. He's an author, he's a podcaster, he's a musician, and he took some time out of his busy schedule to get down and dirty with all things GDT's Frankenstein here on the show this week. I'm really excited to get into it. And this is just a taste, because something that I'm going to announce later in this episode will let you know that there's more Frankenstein content coming sometime in the next few months here on Bride of Monster Kid Radio. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's bring it back to this week's episode. We've got this long conversation. It goes over an hour, just barely, with Beth and Robert. But before we get to that, it wouldn't be an episode of Bride of Monster Kid Radio without a little tokusatsu action. So we've got Mark Matzke's Beta Capsule review. First of all, Mark Matzke just had a birthday. Happy birthday to Mark. And second of all, dude, Ultraman Taro is awesome. I hope you're enjoying the Beta Capsule reviews that Mark's been sending in, and I hope you've been checking out Ultraman and getting some more Ultraman into your media diet, because really, Ultraman's just awesome. It's so awesome. I cannot wait to get to it. Here we go.
Shipwreck survivor, unknown forces lie in wait at Frankenstein Island.
What have you done? Why are you in the cell?
What have I done? What do I do? I'll show you. Look.
It could be a scientific breakthrough, but where would it end? What sacrifice of the psyche would be considered extreme when humans are used for experimentation? Ruthless science finds no limit, no boundary, and all because of the obsessions of one man.
Mark, I want you to listen to me. We've been friends a long time. Now you owe something to that friendship. Oh, Doc, you were yourself. You wouldn't be asking me to do anything different. Right? They've been feeding you dope ever since you got here.
Strange beings exist at Frankenstein Island. Strange compulsions. A secret lab with 7 million volts of power. It's a mind warp. Frankenstein Island. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
The incredible shrinking man.
You are getting smaller. There's no medical precedent for what's happening to you. I simply know that you're getting smaller.
I want you to stop thinking about us, our marriage. Some awful things might happen.
As long as you've got this wedding ring on, you've got me.
This is Orson Welles speaking. I have 45 seconds to tell you about something I think you'll remember the longest day you live. It's about a man named Scott Kelley. A few months ago, he was 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed 190 pounds. Today, he's 2 inches tall, and you can hold him in the palm of your hand. Now he lives in a world where he must fight for his life, a world where a friendly house cat is a predatory monster.
Incredible because it's almost beyond imagining. Incredible because every hour he gets smaller and smaller. Incredible because every moment the terror mounts.
Live from the Land of Light in Nebula M78, home of the mighty Ultra Heroes, it's Monster Kid Radio's Beta Capsule Review. Ultraman Taro, Episode 10, The Tusk Cross is the Monster's Grave. Original air date, June 8th, 1973. Kotaro's losing weight to prepare for a boxing match. While recovering from training, an earthquake caused by walrus monster Deparus rocks the bathhouse, which he and Kenichi are using. And when Deparus finally surfaces, ZAT attacks from the air. Things go relatively well until Kotaro, weak from hunger, ventures too close to the walrus monster and is forced to eject from his plane. However, his up-close observation of Deparus leads to a breakthrough, and ZAT uses reflective material to attract the monster's attention, luring it into a large pit where it's blown to smithereens. Kotaro's boxing match goes on as scheduled, but there's a big problem. Deparus is not as dead as anyone thought. The Tusk Cross is the Monster's Grave continues to split the difference between broad physical comedy and handcrafted high-quality monster action. The distinction of this episode is the emphasis on Kotaro's boxing aspirations leading up to his match in the ring. Portions of this process are played for laughs, but it also demonstrates his fighting spirit, motivated by his growing fondness for surrogate family Sori and Kenichi. There are also wonderfully imaginative moments in Episode 10, such as the point-of-view shots of missiles hitting their kaiju target and ZAT headquarters' ability to become a flying fortress, as well as not quite gory scenes involving Deparus' ability to reassemble his exploded body and Ultraman Taro taking a walrus tusk through the chest. You never know what you'll see in Ultraman Taro, or how seriously to take it, which is a big part of its disarming appeal. For Bride of Monster Kid Radio's Beta Capsule Review, this is Mark Matzke reporting.
It is 1976. The American merchant vessel Petrox Explorer has just set sail from the port of Surabaya in search of oil. What they find will shock the world.
We may be sailing into the history books.
She's alive!
You know, maybe my luck has changed.
They will discover an uncharted island that is the home of the most incredible creature on the face of the earth. A creature called Khan. Dino De Laurentiis presents the most exciting original motion picture event of all time. King Kong. King Kong, a fantastic adventure. Open the gate! King Kong. King Kong, unlike anything you've ever experienced before. With Jeff Bridges, Charles Grodin, and introducing Jessica Lange as the beauty who charmed the beast. And starring the eighth wonder of the world, King Kong.
Horror.
No!
Horror.
Stop it!
Horror. The Masters of Horror present the masterpieces of screen horror from 20th Century Fox, Frankenstein Created Woman, and The Mummy's Shroud. Frankenstein. Now he has created his most diabolical horror. The ultimate in evil. A beautiful woman with the soul of the devil. Then, beware the beat of the cloth-wrapped feet. Beware the mummy's shroud. The ultimate in evil, the absolute in terror from the Shockmasters. Together in the same double shock show, Frankenstein Created Woman and the Mummy's Shroud in dripping color.
I am Dracula, and I bid you welcome to the podcast devoted to the classic, and sometimes not so classic, genre cinema of yesteryear. And I offer you this warning. Sometimes Derek and his guests get excited, and they may spoil a movie or two. You know how excited monster kids can get sometimes. If Monster Kid Radio spoils a movie for you, do not come whining to me. I cannot stand whines.
All right, Bride of Monster Kid Radio listeners, I've been looking forward to the movie that we're talking about this week for a very, very long time. I don't know if I was aware of it back in 2007 when Guillermo del Toro first started talking about it publicly, but it might have been shortly after that that I heard that he wanted to make a movie based on Frankenstein. There's a lot of talk, a lot of things that had been floated out there into the press about maybe Doug Jones being involved, Frank Darabont being involved, other people being involved, and eventually he finally got to make his Frankenstein movie. I am so excited to talk about it this week here on Bride of Monster Kid Radio with my lovely wife, Beth, who is here.
Hello.
And the almost as lovely musician, author, podcaster, doing way more than I'm doing these days, Robert Kelley. How you doing, man?
Thank you, Derek. I'm great. I'll take what I can get in terms of loveliness, you know. I shaved my beard for a Halloween costume, and I kept the mustache, and the beard hasn't come back, and I'm just waiting. You know, once I get back to full strength down there, it's going to be...
So beard length equals level of loveliness for you? Is that what you're getting at?
For myself.
For yourself?
For myself. And it's got a, you know, like an inch off the bottom, you know.
Okay.
That's the sweet spot for me. It's where it keeps its shape, but I'm doing okay. I'm glad to be here talking with y'all about Frankenstein.
So we will get to Frankenstein, but you can't throw out, I did this for my Halloween costume without telling us what the Halloween costume was.
I was Bob from Bob's Burgers.
I can see that then. Okay.
Okay.
I shaved down to my mustache, I pulled my hair back, and I tied the bun real tight so you couldn't really see that my hair was pulled back, and I have so many pairs of gray jeans and pants, and I cook a lot, so I have a bunch of aprons. As a musician, one of my looks is plain white t-shirts with bright patterned button-ups over the top open. So
Classic.
Cool. Grab one of those white t-shirts, gray jeans and an apron, shave, and I didn't have to really. I was very comfortable.
Cool. Very, very cool.
Sounds fun.
Right on. Well, we are going to talk about Frankenstein. And at first, you reached out to me, Robert, saying that you had seen the movie. You wanted to talk about the movie. You were so excited about it. You were willing to put together a roundtable with people. You were going to spearhead this whole thing. This was before Beth and I had seen the film ourselves. So I was willing to kind of go down that path. But then Beth and I saw the movie and were like, there's no way I'm not going to get in on this action. And I think, Beth, you kind of feel the same way.
I did. Yeah. I just had an amazing time. Not surprised after, some of his previous efforts that I've just adored, including things like the Cabinet of Curiosities. I probably rewatched that 8-9 times the whole point. So I was really excited, and it did not disappoint.
I want to hear about your experience seeing the film, Robert. Where did you see it? How long have you been waiting for this movie?
Guillermo del Toro is my favorite working director to date.
Wow.
I still haven't seen Pinocchio, but I have all his movies. I've loved them all. I think they're almost all perfect 10 of 10s. And the ones that are weaker, rather, I should say, are like Mimic, which I still have such a good time watching. I have so much fun watching Mimic. I have always enjoyed his movies. I'm a Mexican. He's a Mexican. I love monsters. He loves monsters. We both have tremendous baggage with the Catholic Church. It's almost like he makes movies for me, for my interests, even down to Pacific Rim, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it captures so much of the joy and spectacle that I love in a kaiju movie. Yeah, I mean, when I found out he was going to do Frankenstein, which is one of my absolute favorite stories, I found out about it pretty much as soon as I found out about him, because he's been talking about it openly, like, since he started working with Legendary, and then beyond that, I was just like, yes, make this. Like, I don't know why Universal hasn't given him the keys to the kingdom with the classic monsters.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened for some reason. They haven't, even though they've opened this whole monster land, they haven't quite gone back into them yet. I gotta assume that's in the plan somewhere, but I would love to see that. And when you do get around to Pinocchio, take a really good look at like the sets and everything that was done in miniature or in different scales, because a good friend of mine, James, was actually one of the lead designers with that one with him. That we worked originally for years and years at a haunted house together, where he was designing sets. So he'd do up miniatures and stuff to show us kind of like what things were going to look like ahead of time, and to give the builders direction and stuff for what they were building. And then that led into him working with Del Toro. And so, yeah, it is a really visually delicious and satisfying movie to watch in that way. Like all of his things, it just is very rich. I feel like if there's a corner left dark, there's a reason it's dark. Nothing is without thought,
Yes.
Delicious is a good way to put pretty much his entire output, and not just because it shares the same 3 first letters of his name, but delicious. Everything about Del Toro that I've seen, and unfortunately, I've not seen everything. But everything from his more personal work to the Hollywood stuff like Hellboy, there's a deliciousness to it.
Yes. While this film was in production, I was working on the now stagnated Marcel Delgado project. And I was working on that with a film journalist by the name of Mario's a Kelley. And Mario got a call from Guillermo del Toro that they were talking about this project, the Delgado project, that has sadly, come to a standstill because we're just having no luck contacting the family. But Del Toro invited Mario and I to the set.
Oh.
And Mario turned it down on behalf of both of us.
What?
Which, first of all, I wasn't even in California. So
But you would have found a way.
But arrangements can be made.
I probably would have found a way.
Automobiles exist.
I probably would have found a way. But he was in Mexico at the time as well, so he wouldn't have been able to. It wasn't possible at the time.
Fair enough.
But it was still like, oh my God, I was this close to meeting Guillermo del Toro and going to the Frankenstein. It was the ship in the ice set, apparently.
Oh, neat.
So that's my story. I am now 1 degree of separation from Guillermo del Toro through podcasting, of all things.
That's incredible. And you say invited to the set. This movie is nothing but sets. Del Toro was specifically going for physical sets and locations, and none of this, and I'm not downplaying the artist work that do work in CGI, but this film has texture. This film has weight. It's all present. It's all real. Darn it. And I love it.
If it's a castle, it's a castle.
Yes. It's such a gorgeous film. All of his work is gorgeous. And he has this very particular, almost like woodwork, old world aesthetic. On my fairy tale shelf, I have a figure of the faun from Pan's Labyrinth here.
Ugh.
It's the same aesthetic in Frankenstein, and he manages to make it recognizably Frankenstein, taking the iconography we know and still making it his own. The way I described this movie to my wife, Court, we saw it together. We were able to see it in the theater. Whenever we go to see a horror movie, especially if I know it's going to be kind of visceral, I like to order chicken wings. It makes me really think about the movie when I'm, chowing down on some.
It's funny you're saying that because, of course, we don't eat meat, but we had these barbecue cauliflower wings that were a pretty good fake out. They were like fried and then dripping in sauce, and it very much was like, oh, I felt like the steward of Gondor eating tomatoes, a little bit there.
I've had those in my flirtations with meatless or less meat. Unfortunately, I got diagnosed with diabetes last winter, and I haven't figured out how to get enough protein and stuff with it.
Okay, well, we will work you up. We will work you up a little list, because that's something that Derek does really well, and he was actually, when I became vegetarian for health reasons, actually, because my body, after 3 times beating cancer, just went, we don't like meat anymore. Please stop doing this. I'm like, I'm this Fennigan, and my body's like, no.
I have started experimenting with lentils.
There you go.
Lentils are great. But yeah, Derek's got lots of tips and tricks and really taught me a lot about how to eat without breaking the budget and with being like socially conscious as well, which actually is something for me that is important, not to be overusing water and things like that for the things I'm consuming. So I do like that part of it. I just miss bacon, but yeah, we can hook you up with that. No problem.
Perfect. But so yes, we went to the theater. It used to be an Alamo Draft House.
Still was the movie theater we went to.
Oh, was the one we were at.
We went to the Majestic is what they call it here.
Courtney for a while would not see movies at this theater because she was mad it was no longer a draft house. It was a draft house in our town. So
it's nice when you have them. Yeah.
It was so convenient, and we got to see so many great movies there. Although when Shape of Water came out, they were not playing it. And I asked the manager why they weren't playing it. and he got very aggressive with me, and we almost ended up having a fight about the chick. What?
Oh, wow.
Oh, goodness.
But anyway, it's now a Santikos, which is a chain of theaters in the San Antonio area that does a lot for the community. So I'm always happy to go there, and they do a lot to get art, indie movies, that sort of limited releases, and even if they only play for a week.
That reminds me a lot of the Joy in Portland where we got married, that, they try to bring things in, even if it's just for a couple show-ins or something.
They played Godzilla -1 for like a month.
Oh, wow.
There. And they're still showing Frankenstein. They initially only had it for a week, but they're still showing it.
Well, that's great. That means they're getting good numbers if they're still showing it then.
Well, I mean, it was halfway full when Courtney and I went to see it, and we went to see it at 2:00 on a Monday afternoon.
Wow.
So.
Yeah.
And like, this movie is getting so much buzz, I think, and that makes me really happy whenever a monster movie is the same with Nosferatu back in the winter. I just, whenever a monster movie is getting what it deserves, I feel. Yeah. I'm very happy. And I was so excited about this for so long, and it was what I wanted it to be. What I described it as is the most culturally complete Frankenstein movie. It takes the iconography from the Universal movies and the Hammer movies, and then it dresses the book up in them.
Yes.
And the changes it makes to the book are both for cultural recognizability and serving as adaptational necessity. And I just, I thought there was, I'm not a filmmaker, but if I were to make a Frankenstein movie, there's very little I would do different.
Okay. Well, we went to go see it at a former Alamo Draft House as well. And like I said, the Majestic is what they call the Alamo survivors. Here, there's 3 of them in the Phoenix area. We went to the one in Chandler, which just happened to be right down the street from us. We'd seen a few movies there in the past, and we've always enjoyed it. They still have all the trappings of the Alamo, so they have like the big movie posters up and down the hallway, and it's not, the prestige pictures. It's stuff like Black Belt Jones and things like that, and I love that. But we went to go see it there, and there weren't that many people there. I was being kind of cynical about the whole thing, thinking, well, the only reason it's in the theater is so that Netflix can maybe get some Oscar buzz out of this, because it's got to play in the theater to get nominated for the Oscars. But
sure.
I'm glad we saw it that way, and if people have an opportunity to see it that way, man, I really, really hope you can do so.
Yeah.
As of right now, it's still playing at the Majestic as well. And it's going to make its way to Netflix eventually anyway. So
I think as of recording, it's on there tonight.
Even better.
That's kind of perfectly aligned then that we're hitting that.
But that said,
if you could see it on a big screen though, guys,
yeah.
Because right from, like you mentioned the scene you got invited to come out to with the ship and the ice and everything, which I don't think is spoiling anything. If you haven't read the book, it's been out for over, 150 years, guys, catch up. But it's such an amazing scale, and the feel of it and the size of it is so neat that it's definitely worth seeing at least once in that larger format, I'd say.
Yeah. And you haven't seen Oscar Isaac's butt until it's been 20 feet tall in front of you.
Well, I mean, sure. If that's important to you, I guess it's there.
It's not important to me, but I think it's a selling point for some people.
Look, use what your mama gave you.
Oscar Isaac is amazing in this too, as Baron Victor Frankenstein. She's not on the show, so I don't want to speak for her, but Dominique Lamzes, was on the show last week, did post on her own personal Facebook page that she, quote, I know GDT made him study Peter Cushing's performance because Isaac, particularly in the initial disciplinary tribunal scene, which echoed the courtroom scene in Frankenstein Created Woman beautifully, Isaac used the same cadence and staccato quality Cushing did. Isaac is also the only person to play Victor to so successfully channel those aspects that made me want to punch the Victor in the book the entire time.
Yes. So he does such a good job. The Cushing's fingerprints are all over it without it feeling like it's a derivative portrayal or impersonation. And I also think it's a combination of the writing and the changes Del Toro made and Oscar Isaac's performance.
Yeah.
That as much as I hate him throughout the movie, I see his humanity a lot more than in other portrayals that are critical of the character. Because in the Universal ones, he had to be the hero, Henry Frankenstein. But Cushing's Frankenstein is like beyond redemption.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's the mad scientist, narcissistic, god complex kind of a thing. I feel like in many cases, whereas here we get to no, he's a real person. Like you see conflict.
Yes, the creature is almost always in these adaptations the heart of it, but and I think he still is here, but Frankenstein himself is humanized and made empathetic in a way I don't think he has been.
I'd agree. There's more focus overall on the humanity of multiple characters, whereas we're often looking for the monster in the man, and then of course the monster in the monster is just what there is. And there's always there's a little bit of humanity in him. I really appreciated finding the man in the man and not just making him a soulless monster himself.
Well, I think one of the big steps Del Toro took to make that work was to change the relationship between Victor and Elizabeth.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very different than anything I was expecting.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I think it did a lot to give her more agency than in the book, because she really is in love with Victor's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the feeling that he was reading more into their interactions than she was. And that's why she didn't hesitate when he did come on to her. She did not hesitate to reject him for a minute. It was like, okay, I thought this might happen. No, I've made my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It helps her retain her agency, definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
And her ownership of herself as a person, that it really was her choice made by her, not just that she was told what to do or influenced from everyone around her.
Right. And I think that extends to her relationship with the monster. I think it got perilously close, I think, and it might just be because I've seen it more times than a person should. It got perilously close to King Kong 76 territory a couple times.
Okay.
With the monster. But I don't think it honestly ever got to that point. I think she felt a kinship with him in a way that was different. No, not different. Not that different at all from the kinship she felt with Victor before she saw him being horrible. Like, she was like, you're full of yourself, you're arrogant, but there is this brilliant and interesting person there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And she saw the same thing with the monster, but it revealed something in Victor that was dark and, not appealing at all.
Yeah.
Really using the monster and Victor as reflections of each other, I think, more so than any other depiction I've seen. Changing her role, her relationship to Frankenstein accomplishes that really well, I think.
I was really impressed with that and the portrayal. I didn't know what to expect from, is it Mia or Maya Goth? Do we know for sure? I don't know for sure.
I think it's Mia.
Mia.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with her work. I've been wanting to watch, the X and the Maxine and that whole series. And I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So I don't know too much about her. So I didn't know what to expect out of her. And it wasn't until we were done watching it and we were kind of sticking around for the end credits that Beth pointed out that, oh yeah, she played the mom too. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't either until the credits.
I thought maybe it was, and of course, because of my work with haunts and trying to surprise people, do things like that, we'll often do something like veil a dummy dressed up like a character and then have the same character later on in the same outfit, but it's a real person. And so as soon as I saw the red veiling on the mom, I was like, okay, why are we veiling the mom? There's got to be a reason.
Yeah.
And it was to use that same character, but then it also, the veil, I felt like gave enough of a difference that it was almost like we were seeing, what we were seeing, his memories. So we were seeing his mother through a veil. And so having the two characters have a similarity, that was kind of an interesting, like, he's got a little bit of a mommy complex,
Yeah. I mean, as soon as you pointed out that it was the same actress, it opened up the light a little bit more on Frankenstein's attraction toward Elizabeth in a way that I hadn't caught on consciously while we were watching the movie.
Well, and there's also, you bring up the red, Guillermo del Toro works so much with colors.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the movie, we see in the childhood flashbacks Frankenstein wearing white.
Yes.
And he's always in white in the childhood flashbacks until his mother dies. And that begins when she starts going into labor prematurely and she's bleeding and she gets blood all over his white clothes.
Mm.
And then he's
literally ruins his innocence. I mean,
yes. Yeah. I mean, it's very, but he is covering himself in black through the rest of the movie, but there's always something red in his outfit from then on.
Little bits. I noticed that too.
And most prominently is his gloves. He has red lambskin gloves the whole movie. And Frankenstein, the book, famously inspired by John Milton in Paradise Lost, it's even referenced extensively through the text and in this movie, describes God from Satan's perspective as having a red right hand, as the creator, having this responsibility for his creation. And so we're getting that imagery, the red right hand of God imagery throughout the movie. And even frequently, he usually takes the left glove off first, leaving him with the literal red right hand, a la Milton's God. And like I was just like chuckling to myself at that. Like this is either blunderingly obvious or very subtle, and I don't care which. I love it.
Well, and it felt, I think, especially to do it with the gloves and to have them be such clearly an expensive item. I mean, he's not poor by any means, but he's not the king of England. He's somewhere in the upper middle class gentry. They're clearly up in that area, but they don't have all the money in the world, and yet the place he spent money is like on those gloves. And it's almost like if I put enough money in the right color, the right item, it covers the blood.
Yes.
Yeah. If I do well enough, it covers my sins. It'll cover the sins, the blood.
Yeah. And it's so, the way the colors are used, it's so good.
It very much reminded me, you said earlier, you said something about, and I also come from a big Catholic family, having a Catholic guilt. It's very much like the midnight mass before Easter or on Good Friday or something.
Oh, yeah. The Easter
Down
vigil.
and the color playing off of the reds and the golds and the darkness, and you get that creepy, holy feeling that anything could happen. And he definitely plays with color in a cathedral style like that.
Yes.
Like a lot of
Yes, absolutely.
great.
Well, and there's almost like stained glass lighting during the creation scene with the huge red glass batteries turning to green and just oh god, it's so and then of course he couldn't resist. We have, throughout Frankenstein films, cruciform monsters, getting close to it, but he just completely does away with the subtlety, and the creation slab puts him out with his arms like a crucifix.
Yeah.
It's really I think just everything that Guillermo del Toro has ever seen ends up in one of his movies.
It's all tucked away somewhere.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's that. I also would say, from knowing someone who's worked with him on a large scale project, knowing James from Pinocchio, that one of his comments was he wasn't ever afraid to listen to someone's idea. Or if you came to him and you showed him something and said, I created this or that. Oh, that's really cool. Let's figure out a way to work that in, or oh, well, that's not exactly what I was going for, but we'll still use it. We'll still use it somewhere, that he's not going to waste anything. So I think you're right. Everything he's ever seen, experienced, everywhere he's been, he's pulling pieces of that into his artwork.
It's in there and it's coming out in some way.
I'm a big fan of the mantra that everything is a remix, and not to break this down into something kind of reductive, but no art is created in a vacuum. We're all influenced by our influences. We're all touched by the things that we consume, the media that we consume, and it all kind of bubbles around inside our remix engine and gets put back out there. And Del Toro seems like one of these guys who has not forgotten, or maybe he has forgotten where these filters should go as we get older or whatever. I mean, he's got this ability, like you guys were saying, to every single thing that he's ever seen, whether he liked it or not, is going to influence the artwork that he puts out there in a very clear yet uniquely spun fashion. And I love that about this particular version of Frankenstein in particular. Yeah, you see it in other things.
Is there a monster that's more of a mashup?
Yeah, true.
Or a remix?
Yeah, good point. Good point. And speaking of the monster, how different would it have been if Andrew Garfield played him as it was originally planned?
I love
Andrew. I love him. I love him to little tiny pieces, but I don't think it wouldn't have been the same movie.
No. Not at all. Jacob Elordi?
I have really mixed feelings
said
on Andrew Garfield.
Do you?
Yeah, Elordi.
What's wrong with Garfield? What did he do to you?
He didn't do anything. I just feel so. I have similar feelings about Mia Goth, actually. That they're both really good in things that are really good, and not so good in things that are not so good. They understand the film they're in, and they give it the performance they think it deserves. I feel like.
I'm not surprised though, because both having done stage work, they are probably really good. As somebody who's directed a lot of stage stuff, they're probably very good at taking direction. And so when good direction is provided, they make the most of it.
Yes.
But there have definitely been a few things I would say that either have been in where maybe that wasn't provided and results followed.
Yes. So like for myself, I don't know how much of that is that with him. I've seen more things with Mia Goth, the X trilogy. She's so good in, especially in the middle one, Pearl. If you only see one of them, just see Pearl. It's by far the best in my opinion. although I did like all three to varying degrees. But I'm more familiar with her work. I saw the Cure for Wellness way back when that came out, which, as someone who loves trashy Italian horror movies, that was right up my alley. That was like someone gave Bruno Mattei, $50 million to make a movie, and with everything that goes along with that. And she nailed in that movie that tone of that kind of weird thing.
She also, I will say, in everything I've seen, she's a very penetrating gaze.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And she can hold a room, and I would love sometime to see her perform anything live, just because of the way she can clearly hold the attention. I just imagine shooting and everyone on scene is actually just wrapped with attention. Because that's how they feel when you see her eye to eye.
And Jacob Elordi, I think he's the best monster since Karloff.
Wow.
That might feel hyperbolic, but I don't know. That's just the feeling I get. I believed and enjoyed his performance immensely.
I agree. I really enjoyed his performance. And one of the things that it reminded me of, and I was so excited to see on the silver screen, because I think it counts. It was in the theaters. It counts. I had seen the taping on like PBS or whatever, a PBS special thing of the play that Cumberbatch did with,
Johnny Lee Miller. We saw that together.
Johnny Lee Miller, yes.
Yeah.
And I so enjoyed that. And especially...
Yes, I remember. You did an episode on that.
Yeah.
And I had seen that show before in the Portland area, or basically that show before, where I happened to know the two lead actors. And so got to see them back-to-back nights switching roles like Cumberbatch and Miller did. And it's one that I really love, and I love the way that the monster is portrayed in it. And I felt like this was the first time on screen that I've seen that justice done to the monster, that he's not ignorant or incompetent. He's just new. He's just young. He has to learn, from the beginning, like any child. And he picks things up so quickly, and I feel like this is one of the first ones where it really does that justice. I also love that we get the whole friend thing, because in the originals, that's my absolute favorite moment, I think.
The which moment?
Where he's learning about what it means to be a friend, or right?
Yes.
He's learning about love is what he's really learning about, and so that's a very special moment for me in those movies I really love, and so having that touched on and included and made so special for me was really something that made the character. I agree. I think my favorite of all the modern 21st century, or maybe post 1970, we'll say.
I mean, it's certainly better than Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro, yes.
Bob, I love you, but nah, man.
I'm going to go on record right now. I'm going to defend some elements of Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein, specifically the score. I love the music from that.
Okay, I'll give you that. Beautiful.
I think it's Patrick Doyle's best work.
Yes.
I absolutely adore it. I also think it's cool that we got John Cleese in a Frankenstein movie. That's cool. But yeah,
I have fun with it.
Yeah. And I saw it in the theater.
Have fun with it. It's a good Saturday afternoon network or local TV catch, like.
Yeah. Well, you got, you're doing something and you need something on in the background and keep you entertained. Yeah.
I mean, my biggest takeaway from that movie, though, is, as much as I love the score, is that, like I said, I saw it in the theater. I was very aware of what was going on in the theater at the time. And there was a novelization of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein written by somebody else, available for sale in the bookstore down the hall in the mall where the theater was that was showing the movie. And I just thought that was ridiculous and funny and sad all at once, that they couldn't just promote the book by Mary Shelley. I had to be, and it's probably written by some dude who had gone in and done a novelization of the movie, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, written by so-and-so. It just, yeah. That was my biggest take.
Run off Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly.
There was not a performance in here that I felt anything but admiration for.
Even some performances that I didn't expect. I purposely stayed away from a lot of it. I didn't want to know. I wanted to be surprised. I had no idea Christoph Waltz was in this. None.
Yeah.
And he was
so good.
He was so good.
He's good in everything, though.
Yeah.
But he was so good in this, and I knew something was up with him because he never bothers to hide that he's already gray in a movie. And he's got like chestnut brown hair throughout this. I was like, oh, something else is happening here.
Okay.
And we do the spoiler warning before. He has syphilis. He has syphilis. And the whole reason he's funding Victor's project is because he wants to be put in the monster's body. He wants his brain put in the monster's body.
Yeah.
And I love the moment where it finally comes out and he says that to Frankenstein, and Frankenstein just for a beat and then looks at him and says, no. And it wasn't just a flat out no. It's just like, are you crazy? This is the most absurd question that you could ask me. Will you do this for me? No, I loved it. Perfect.
The timing did make it a humorous moment, but it also made it feel very real.
Yes.
In that split second of processing what? And it was also simultaneously one of his most Cushing-like moments, I felt in the movie. Just
And I really
the blank emphatic.
I really appreciated just, keeping in or throwing in there, having the line about, a night with Venus.
A lifetime with Mercury.
A lifetime with Mercury.
In a lifetime with Mercury.
That was a great line.
Yeah.
Because that's something I've seen in other media from the time, even in something that was a book that was memoirs from a relative of Queen Victoria.
Okay.
Who had syphilis, and the same, that was something that was said, so it very much placed it right there where it was supposed to be in the time period. And that with the costuming and everything just really kept me in the world, and I was not worried about anything beyond the screen for that entire time.
I was captivated. I was enraptured by the movie. Another concern that I had going into this was the length. Because, and we've talked about this here on the show, Beth is dealing with some medical stuff, and her being able to sit in the same position for a long time can be an issue right now, but that's being dealt with. But that said, I knew it was going to be 2.5 hours long, and I was worried about us being able to sit and manage to sit there comfortably. I felt like this movie was over way too soon. Yeah. I would have sat there for another hour of stuff here, man. Not that I want Del Toro to pad things out, but it did not feel like 2.5 hours to me. It felt like...
It did not to me.
Yeah.
I wanted to spend more time in the universe.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I almost felt a little tiny bit robbed because we started to go down the whole make me a mate story part of Frankenstein's story.
Gotta save something for the sequel. No.
Oh, that's not happening. But, we almost went down this make me a mate thing, and I was curious how they're going to do this. Is it going to be like in Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein? Is it going to be like what we saw with the, Johnny Lee Miller and the Benedict Cumberbatch version? How are they going to tackle this? Is it going to be more shades of Universal's Bride of Frankenstein? No, it was almost like kind of thrown in there and not really had a chance to go very far because Victor's life starts to unspiral.
The way that's handled in the book is he actually builds and creates the mate. and then he realizes, or he thinks he has the realization, oh no, they're gonna make an army of monster babies, and he destroys her.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, though, about the way Del Toro chose to adapt that is that he covers that whole stretch of the book in a conversation between them on Elizabeth's wedding night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that happens, the whole philosophical bent that episode illustrates in the book is covered in their conversation. And I think that's a really good adaptational choice, especially when your movie is already, approaching 3 hours. I don't think there should be any movie that is more than 90 minutes long, and nothing should cost more than $45. But I did not feel.
I would like to see intermissions formally put back into movies.
There you go.
Yes.
And of all the fun wants to do it, Del Toro already done for it.
Act 2, and let me go buy more popcorn or snacks, or I will spend more money if you pause the movie. Also, I need to pee.
Yeah.
But I will spend more money. Please let me spend money.
I did not feel the runtime of this at all. Like, when it ended, I was like, wait, it's over? Oh, yeah, no, that's the story.
That's where it ends.
I was I did have a surprise. I was oh, I kind of thought we had more time left. Not that I needed it to go anywhere specific. It just didn't feel like watching the length of Titanic, which, as much as it's really cool and I love all kinds of parts of it, is a very long movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I could have done more. But maybe it didn't need it. I don't know.
I think it was just right.
Okay.
You want to leave them wanting more as a performer. I have to be on stage 3 hours at a time. And if people still want to talk to me when I'm getting off the stage, I did a good job that night.
Yep.
So that's perfect. Perfect.
So, knowing that we would love for Universal to bring Del Toro on and do more monstrous movies, and given I think we all have to agree that the next one would not be Derek's favorite, simply because The Shape of Water already exists, and I am not saying that's the same as The Creature, but there are similarities, and this director has done that. What monster would you each want to see Del Toro do a movie for, and why? I'm ready this week.
Wow.
Actually, I've just been stuck in bed with this hip, so I'm I'm going to be ready because I got nothing else to do, boys.
So there's a rumor circulating that he's doing that he's planning a Phantom of the Opera. That's the follow-up.
I've been seeing that too.
And I think
I could see that, although I wasn't even, and I know the Phantom is one of the originals, but I never quite managed. He's kind of on the outer frame. He's the outer territories.
He's in the public domain, so Universal can't monetize him when they start talking about their classic Universal pantheon. So he gets left out a lot of times unless they happen to have a space they need to put somebody in.
So is that what you would want to see him do? If you could just have your pick.
Well, I think what I would most want to see him do is the Wolfman.
Okay.
Because of how he handles monsters. And there's more generational trauma to deal with in the Wolfman story. I make a point somewhere, kind of stretching on purpose, stretching the bounds of credulity and how abstract an allegory can be. I like to graft the life of Christ onto the Wolfman.
Oh, okay.
in that you have a stranger coming home simultaneously, right? Who is the son of a prominent father who sacrifices himself and takes on an ugliness in order to rid the world of it.
And Silver is
boiling it down to these very
Silver.
So yes, exactly, Beth. You got it. But so that's I think he could do a lot with that if he approached. I'm not gonna tell Guillermo del Toro how to make a movie, but there's a lot there. I think in the way,
yeah. I like that. I really like that. And
let me co-write it.
And the Wolfman would look just sick, insane, wonderful. No doubt there. I mean, just from
the design would be
ever allowed on. Yeah.
Well, and he's got a thing for Lon Chaney. Granted, more senior than junior, but still. You know, for me, it's tough because, I think when it comes to Universal, I mentioned there being a pantheon, right? And there is, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Creature, Invisible Man, Mummy, whatever. But there's always going to be the big two, Frankenstein and Dracula. Those are the two. Those are the two that made Universal the horror powerhouse that it was. Those are the two that brought back monster kiddom when they were brought in as a double feature or part of a triple feature with King Kong and got re-released. But he's already kind of sort of done vampires.
Okay.
I mean,
he's done vampires a lot.
He's done vampires a lot. He did Blade 2, but Kronos as well, right? Isn't Kronos the vampire?
Kronos?
Yeah.
Kronos is vampires. He also he wrote a book series about vampires.
Oh, that's right. The Strain,
which they adapted into a TV show. But the books actually very closely follow the broad outline of Dracula.
Yeah. So I think...
But updating it, keeping it modern.
I think maybe part of the same reasons you would like to see him do the Wolfman, it might be really exciting to see him do something where you get to see the monster and the transformation and man kind of doing it to himself. So either the Invisible Man or Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde would be really good in his hands, and I think so would Invisible Man. Oh my God, he would. That was my brain went Wolfman, Invisible Man, Wolfman.
And Invisible Man, I was gonna say, so that's kind of perfect that we're coming up with the same three in general.
Yeah.
I would love to see how he does things with practical effects, because I think he would come up with some really amazing stuff to do practically to work the Invisible Man. In the same way, and this is the silliest monster comparison I could possibly make, but I know Derek loves it, and we just talked about it. So, in Mad Monster Party, the work that they do on the Invisible Man and not letting you see the strings and everything, even though it is, stop motion and he really keeps the shape and everything, and he can't have legs. That was so cool. I would love to see the exponential take on that would be Guillermo del Toro doing the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although we could always just ask him to make a version of the Mummy and focus on Mexican mummies instead of Egyptian mummies.
I'd be down for that. I would be super down for that.
Yeah.
I want to say, by the way, the Monster Party episode was fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
But no one brought up that Rankin Bass had the rights to King Kong for the King Kong show. Shortly after Mad Monster Party came out.
Yeah, you're right.
Interesting.
See, I need to start taking notes. Like Beth apparently is
shortly after. Irrelevant. I just wanted to bring it up.
No, I want to see him do, yeah. I know we kind of... Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde. I'm still stuck on that. I want to see him kind of explore the psychosexual nature between the two sides of man, and that'd be fun.
Well, he's done some really great stuff in that area. I think of Crimson Peak.
Yes.
Love that. Yeah.
In particular, and dealing with this duality aspect, and to have it be so naked and blatant in a Jekyll and Hyde or a Wolfman kind of thing. I think that'd be terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that we've got a monster kid out there doing these movies.
Absolutely.
He's making his vampire stuff. He's making his kaiju films. He's making his Gilman movie. He's making, Frankenstein. What else is he going to give us? You said he's making movies for you. He's making movies for all of us too, man. It's awesome, and I love it. And I would love to see a repeat of him getting some camera time at the Oscars and giving another shout out to Lon Chaney or whoever it was he gave a shout out to during his Oscar acceptance speech for Shape of Water.
And anyone that wants to keep my boy Doug Jones working, that's all right by me.
So that's the other thing. I know that their careers are on different paths, and Doug Jones is doing other things, and they're not. It's not a Johnny Depp Tim Burton relationship. I get this.
No, he's not locked in the basement or anything.
No, he's not locked in the basement. He's not having Helena Bonham Carter dangled in front of him all the time. But for a long time, there was talk about Doug Jones being Frankenstein, and I was looking forward to somebody who's got so much experience in pantomime doing that. But it only took a few minutes of watching this guy, Elordi, as the monster that I totally forgot about Doug Jones.
No, he's terrific. And I think also just the amount of makeup and amount of time he'd have been in.
Yeah.
I don't know how old Doug Jones is, but he's not as young as he used to be, and let him get a break when he can, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's a little busy with, Star Trek.
Yeah. I do want to say, when we went to see it, I have a t-shirt that has a picture of, it's a white t-shirt with a black and white photo of Guillermo del Toro in his tux holding up his Oscars. And it just says Academy Award winner. I wore that to the movie.
Oh, that's so nice.
To see it. And I got barbecue sauce on it. I saw t-shirt.
Well, the monster design inspired by Bernie Wrightson, which is an iconic look for the monster. I had met Bernie Wrightson years ago at the Lovecraft Film Festival in Portland. He was brought in as a guest. And everybody was going up to him and talking to him about, Frankenstein and a bunch of other horror projects and all that. And I went up to him with 4 issues of The Punisher and asked him to sign it because I loved that 4-issue miniseries of The Punisher from the Marvel Knights imprint, where the Punisher suddenly became a supernatural agent of destruction, and the Wrightson art on it was wonderful, and I was gushing about it, and Wrightson is smiling, and he's having a good time, and then the words, and I know everybody else didn't like it, but I really did, came out of my mouth, which kind of ruined the conversation. That nobody else didn't like it. Everybody thought it was terrible, and as soon as they could undo that in the continuity, they did, darn it. But they should have stuck to their supernatural guns. Punisher as a supernatural entity was awesome.
Hey, we have Cosmic Ghost Rider now.
We have Cosmic Ghost Rider.
There you go.
I'll take that. But no, it was cool. Like the devil manipulating Frank Castle's family being there, and then they shooting them, and then anyway. But he was a super nice guy. Rest in peace, Bernie Wrightson. It was awesome to see his monster reflected in the monster design.
Yes.
I know they had reference photos of Karloff as the monster as well on set to work on stuff. And, they were influenced by Christopher Lee's portrayal, especially when he gets shot in the eye and he grabs his face and his head jerks back. That's straight out of The Curse of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I almost cheered when that happened. Because because that was amazing. Just Frankenstein, I love the Gill-Man. Okay. I love the Gill-Man. But there was a very short period in my life where I started collecting everything Frankenstein. Because Frankenstein was awesome. I dressed up as Frankenstein as a kid for Halloween one year. I had the football shoulder pads underneath a big suit jacket and everything, So I love Frankenstein's monster, and it was really cool to see it this way. So I was excited for that.
Yeah. So my history with the Universal Monsters Dracula was my first. Dracula was my favorite of the movies. But there is something about the character of Frankenstein's monster that I relate to deeply. I'm a large guy. I'm a strange guy. I've been large my whole life. I was like, when I was 5, people thought I was 8. And so I very much, yeah, exactly. Right there. Let me lift up my hair and you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
No, I felt, very much, this infant in a man's body, at it being so big at such a young age. And when I saw Frankenstein, the character, the monster, there was just something that connected right away that I saw myself in. And so he's a very special character to me, the monster.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him portrayed this way, so close to the book, but without some of the book's pitfalls in the portrayal of the character, it did me so much good.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm 6'4", and I was a tall, gangly kid. I am, to this day, still pretty klutzy and clumsy. But I was 6'4", in high school. I was, I was always the tallest in my class, and, and I get it. So, yeah, maybe that's where some of my love for the Frankenstein's monster was as well. I haven't really thought about it too much, but I think I'm going to cop to that as well. But he was fantastic. And to be an outsider and to desperately want the attention of and the community of others. I mean, as monster kids, we're all kind of outsiders a little bit anyway, right? So we kind of respond to that too.
Yeah.
And not to get too deep into it, but I don't have the greatest relationship with my father. And so there's some of that there too, and it was something I suspect we could talk about this movie and some of the deeper and the more fun stuff. And yes, I'm a film score guy. So Alexander Desplat did the score for this, and honestly,
it's terrific.
I didn't really pay attention to it because I was so caught up in the film, which is probably the best compliment you can give a film composer. I need to listen to it as an independent production or presentation, and I will get my hands on it. I was looking it up though, and it turns out Desplat's very next project is another film doing a modern take on a Universal classic, a French film called The Shrinking Man, based on the story of The Incredible Shrinking Man. And that has been released in France last month. I hope it makes its way over here somehow so that I can see it, because I would love to check that out as well. I don't know anything about the cast, the crew, other than Desplat being involved with the music and the score. So I think that's cool.
That's my favorite Jack Arnold film.
Really?
Man.
I mean,
yeah.
Black Lagoon's the best, but that's okay. You can have a favorite too. Beth, did you have any other questions or anything that you had been working up?
No. I mean, the only other thing I was going to touch on, and you kind of touched on it a little bit there, Derek, was that Frankenstein is and will always be a bit of a metaphor on parenting. So, even if you just are a parent of teenagers and need to get away to feel better about your own children, go see this. You can't possibly be a worse parent.
The point is, all children are monsters and your feelings are justified.
Yeah.
There you go. Just don't put them in the castle, lock them up, and try to blow it up on your way out. Just then we don't do that.
Nice.
Oh, that's...
One thing that I really enjoyed is while we're watching it, the movie's broken up into parts, and you get like Victor's tale, and then you get the creature's tale. And Beth made a comment to me about how this is something new. We don't normally get that in these movies where we actually see the tale told from the point of view of Frankenstein's creation. And I would argue that, a lot of times we do because we it's just not so clearly delineated and solely from that character's point of view. Like in Bride of Frankenstein, we do follow him around, and he finds the blind woodsman and he befriends him and then gets shot at by John Carradine and company. But I thought that was really interesting to kind of present the tale that way. And even his introduction to that portion of the story where they open the door and he's right there outside the cabin. And he barges in, and you've heard his story, now you hear mine. Boom.
That was the point for me. It wasn't just that it was the story about him, which, as you've said, we've followed him to the cabin where he makes his first friend before. We've seen him interact with townspeople before. We've seen all that, but we haven't heard him tell the tale.
Exactly. And that was cool. I really liked that.
He got his say. And I feel like,
yes,
in terms of, human rights and all of that involved, that alone, giving him a voice, not just to say words, but to tell the tale in the way he wanted to tell it, whether that's truth or perspective or whatever, it was still his tale from his soul.
Yep.
Which I guess gives you the answer that if he can tell the tale in that way, I guess he does have a soul, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, all in all,
absolutely,
a grand cinematic experience that I really, really hope people have a chance to see, whether it's on the big screen, which would be the best way to see it if you're able to do so, or on Netflix. I think it's one that we're going to talk about for a long time. I think Del Toro really nailed it. I don't have the exact quote here in front of me, but he had said in the past that when you make a Frankenstein movie, that's it. I mean, here we go. Frankenstein to me is the pinnacle of everything, and part of me wants to do a version of it. Part of me has, for more than 25 years, chickened out of making it. I dream I can make the greatest Frankenstein ever, but then if you make it, you've made it. Whether it's great or not, it's done. You cannot dream about it anymore. That's the tragedy of a filmmaker. You landed a 10 or you landed a 6.5, but you were at the Olympics already and you were already judged. This was an interview in 2016 when he was talking about his dream project of Frankenstein.
I think all directors experience that. I know for myself, I waited about 15 years to direct Much Ado About Nothing. And I think I changed the setting half a dozen to a dozen times. I changed, what time period I wanted it in. I changed all kinds of things about it. But over the years, everything I'd collected in my brain and my journals and everything went into it. And I think it's pretty clear that Del Toro took that whole 25 years of thinking about it and researching it, whether in a direct and purposeful way or just in a, oh, that's neat, I'm going to file it away for later kind of a way. We got the benefit of that prolongment in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'd say get yourself some chicken wings or some messy cauliflower, whichever, floats your boat, and a good buddy or someone that just loves dismemberment and want to try.
That is another thing. This is a gory movie. Don't fool yourself. This is a gory movie.
There's some things that happen to animals. There are things that happen to syphilitic benefactors. There are things that happen to women with piercing eyes. There's blood, and there's some gore.
Yep, let's have all the horrors of the 19th century medical system.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there's some disturbing stuff.
Yeah. But it's gorgeous, it's well made. Not one for the whole family, but
yet
for the monster kids for sure.
Not for the whole family yet. Is that what you said, Beth?
Well, eventually the children will age, hopefully. I mean, that is generally how they progress.
Generally how they do.
Generally, as children are wont to do, yes. I think Del Toro landed a 10 with this one.
I agree.
to go back to the Olympics analogy he made back in 2016. He definitely landed a 10. And I'm on board for whatever he does next. And I know I need to fill in some gaps with his filmography. I never saw his Blade 2. I need to go back and watch some of the stuff that he had done leading up to this.
That has a great Ron Perlman performance in it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, and now that Deadpool has pulled Blade back really fully into the MCU, right? I mean, we need to be all right. No? Is that not the important part here?
I don't think that's the important takeaway. I think
always wear red when committing bloody crimes. That's the takeaway.
Oh boy. Well, on that note, let's go ahead and start bringing this to a close. Any final thoughts, Beth, or have you said it all for now? Okay. I think I've pretty much said everything that I wanted to say, other than go see it. Go see it, go see it, go see it. And I think I did say that already. So what about you, man?
It's Frankenstein, and it's one of the best possible versions of it. Go see it if you can on a big screen. Seeing it on Netflix, just see it. See it if you can.
Hey, put it on in the background on Netflix so that it gets more counts. So the Netflix goes, yeah, we want to make more of these because people are watching it, At screen.
I like that.
My dog's going to be watching it.
It deserves. Do what we all did with -1, and let's get it the attention it deserves so that we get the monster equivalent of -0, which I know Derek is just losing his mind about. But
oh yeah,
that's another show.
Please have me on for your -0 episode.
Done. It's a date.
Excellent.
Speaking of dates, do you have any upcoming dates for future performances for you, the Wolf Club of Comal County?
I will be in the New Braunfels area at a bar called Green's Last Call on December 11th.
Oh, on my birthday and when Beth's having surgery.
Oh, man, I'd make it, but I'm literally having hip surgery. So, otherwise I would.
Oh, yeah. The entire state and a half between us, that's also,
Yeah.
But, yes, December 11th is, I'm going to be filling in the dates between now and then.
Cool.
But that's what I have coming up at present. And, yeah, this was fun. Glad I got to talk to y'all about this.
So make sure you go to wolf-cub-music.com. You can check out some of Robert's music at wolfcubmusic.bandcamp.com. And I can't remember, Spotify. Are you on Spotify?
I am on Spotify.
That's right. So look him up, check him out. Download, stream, listen, whatever. Let's get Robert Kelley some more listening hours online. I'll make sure there's links in the show notes. And eventually, we've got Record All Monsters maybe coming back at some point. Yeah?
It will be coming back at some point. What I'm planning on doing right now, what I'm in the process of doing right now, is all of season 3 is written, which is progress. I'm going to wait until everything is recorded and edited, however long that takes, and then put season 3 out 1 week at a time. So it's coming. It's being worked on. Progress is happening. Nice. But it will be a second.
And at some point, Robert and I may even finally get that Fulci thing up and running. So,
hey, we recorded an episode.
We did. I hope you still have the audio because I don't.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Good. I hope so.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure I do.
Good.
I don't know. It might be somewhere in our storage unit, just like.
Good point. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. And I think we're going to I know it's kind of like the kiss of death sometimes when I say we're going to do a theme month, because then it never happens. I really, really want to make February a Frankenstein month, which means between now and then, Monster Kids, you have plenty of time to watch Frankenstein, get it in front of your eyes, think about it, Let us know what you think about it. We're probably going to talk about it again sometime in February, and I'm sure Robert will be back for that.
Oh, yeah. Whenever you want me on, Derek, I'll happily drop most anything.
Sounds good to me. And along those lines, we are going to have Robert Kelley back on in the future to talk about Creature from Black Lake from 1976. So listeners, you have your homework on that one too.
Good Southern Bigfoot movie.
And I guess we'll have Beth back on at some point.
Yeah. Hey, I grew up in Bigfoot country. I'm pretty sure I've seen his backside at least once. It might have been a grizzly bear, if I'm honest, but it might have been Bigfoot.
Was it as big as Oscar Isaac's on the big screen? That's what I'm wondering.
No one wanted to talk about it. No one would admit they had seen or heard it. The law told them to quit asking questions or leave town. Maybe folks felt if they didn't talk about the thing, it would go away. But these curious college boys wouldn't stay away from Black Lake. And that was a mistake. The Creature from Black Lake is coming to a theater near you, a Jim McCullough production.
Turn my engine wouldn't turn. Tried to burn some gasoline, but the gasoline don't burn. Tried to spark my battery don't spark. Tried to change a light bulb, wound up sitting in the dark. Well, no matter how I try, don't know how I had in mind. And I'm trying to live right, but it don't go how I had in mind. Well, I tried to give up smoking, but see, winners never quit. Tried to say I'm sorry, come out sounding like this. If I tried to get to work on time, well, you know I show up late. Tried to get to heaven, they leave me outside the gate. Well, no matter how I try, don't go how I had in mind. And I'm trying to live right, but it don't go how I had in mind. Well, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. I know it drives that gospel train, but I can't get on board. But when they reach their destination, they'll send me the other way. Whiskey and the women, God, they would not let me pray. Oh, no matter how I try, don't go how I had in mind. And now I'm trying to live right, y'all, but it don't go how I had in mind. You know I'm trying to live right, but it don't go damn near right. I said I'm trying to live right, y'all, but it don't go how I had in mind.
You know, the song we just heard, that was How I Had in Mind. That is from Robert Kelley, the man who just spent over an hour telling us how much he loved Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Well, he's also one heck of a musician. And man, I want you to check out his work. Look up wolfcubmusic.bandcamp.com. Look up Robert Kelley on Spotify. Look up the songs How I Had in Mind or Scared to Death. Anywhere you listen to music, follow the link in the show notes to wolf-cub-music and let them know that you heard about him here on Bride of Monster Kid Radio. Robert will be back. Like I said, we're going to be talking about Creature of Black Lake in the very near future. And yeah, he's going to be part of the big Frankenstein month that we do in February of 2026. You're going to find everything you need to know about the podcast over at monsterkidradio.net. You're going to find links to what Robert's up to. You're going to find links to everything we've talked about here. You're going to find links to our Amazon affiliate page. You're going to find links to our contact information. You can email me at monsterkidradio@gmail.com, or you can call and leave us a voicemail at 360-524-2484. I am desperate to hear what you thought of Frankenstein. You know, I was a little surprised, actually, to start seeing some negative reviews of the movie, some critical reviews of the movie coming in from people online, people that I'm friends with on Facebook, that I'm no longer friends with, because I'm not going to be friends with somebody who doesn't like Frankenstein. Okay, I'm kidding about that. But I am not kidding in that I was a little surprised to find people who were not as impressed with the film as we apparently were. So I'd love to hear your opinion. Did you like the movie? Did you not like the movie? I'd love to hear from you. So please give us a call at 360-524-2484 or email me at monsterkidradio@gmail.com. You know, a second ago I mentioned the Amazon affiliate link. Please, when you are shopping on Amazon and you're giving Big Daddy Jeff Bezos a little bit of money, please consider shopping after you've clicked on the Amazon affiliate link, because that's going to help us out here at the podcast. We are an affiliate. We get a tiny percentage of everything that you spend on Amazon when you use this link. So please consider doing that. Also, you can find us on all the different social media platforms. We're on almost all of them now, I think. Pretty sure. If there's one out there that you don't find us on, let us know. But we're all over Facebook, X, Blue Sky, Instagram. You can find us. You can also find us at Patreon at patreon.com/Monster Kid Radio. You can join us on Patreon for free as a free patron, which gets you access to the show notes that I'll be posting later this week that will include what we're going to be talking about on next week's episode of the podcast. This is the only place that I announce online now what's going to be on the next episode. So if you want to be in the loop, if you want to be one of the cool monster kids, become a free patron over at patreon.com/Monster Kid Radio. Of course, if you want to throw a couple of bucks our way, we're not going to turn that down. You can always support us over on Patreon with your hard-earned money if you think we're worth it. You know, we try to deliver a good product here, and really, the best thing that you can do for us is just share the word about Monster Kid Radio, Bride of Monster Kid Radio, and everything else that we do here at Team Death. We'd really appreciate it if you can help spread the word and be part of our Cyber Street team so we can maybe grow our audience just a little bit more. I've got some pretty lofty goals for 2026, and I know I always do goal setting at the beginning of the year, but I've already started thinking about what's going to happen in next year, and it's only going to happen with your support. So thank you for what you've done for us so far. Please help spread the word so we can continue to grow. And when you do spread the word, send them over to monsterkidradio.net. Bride of Monster Kid Radio is a Team Death production. All original content of Bride of Monster Kid Radio is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 Unported license. You can learn more about Team Death, our other projects like Death Designs, Mail Order Zombie, the Team Death YouTube channel, and more at www.teamdeath.com. Remember, death is spelled D-E-T-H. All previous episodes of this podcast, as well as the original Monster Kid Radio podcast, are available at www.monsterkidradio.net. Please rate and review Bride of Monster Kid Radio wherever you download your favorite podcasts. Brain Rock is copyright 2025 Surf's Zombies. You can find that over at surfzombies.bandcamp.com. Check out the album Monster A Go-Go. You can pick it up digitally right now. They sold out of their vinyl. That's how popular this stuff is. So if you want to get in and check out some awesome music, check out Surf Zombies Monster A Go-Go. And as always, let them know that you heard about them here on Bride of Monster Kid Radio. My name's Derek M. Cook. I'll talk to everybody next week. Ciao.